Way to go, Joe. 40-year high. Not your poll numbers. We're talking about inflation. Wow. 7.5% increase in January alone. Yet the fake news, they're still pulling and spinning for you, Joe.
We are seeing a historic level of economic growth. This is truly a Biden boom.
The fastest rate of economic growth in 40 years. That's incredible.
There is a record-breaking jobs boom afoot. Some calling it a Biden boom.
A Biden boom. If this is an explosion, it is a dirty nuclear bomb explosion that just exploded over Joe Biden's head. This is a disaster, and they're going to have a very tough time explaining this one. So, in these economic uncertain times, I remember FDR and those very confusing words, actually, for me, when I first heard them, but they make sense now.
Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Yeah, I never really understood it until now. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. I'm not really talking about the economy. I'm just talking about the overall culture, the mood out there. People are afraid. They're afraid of being canceled. They're afraid of being fired, terminated, singled out. They're afraid of the mob. So they let the far left do their thing and keep their heads down. We can't live this way. I won't live this way. I know there have been casualties. And these people, they use them as an example for the rest of us, ordinary people and famous people. Somebody walking their dog does the right thing. She goes back into her building. There's some guy she doesn't know. She wants to know more. She asks him a question. Probably should have called the cops. Turned out it was a black guy, and you know what happened next. She lost her job. Her ex-husband had to put out a statement. Everything went haywire in her life. You know, I'm sorry, but when somebody enters a building, an apartment building, and you don't know them, I mean, we have locks on the doors for a reason, don't we? Cancel culture. People are afraid of this. A woman on the street sees somebody writing graffiti on the sidewalk. She lives there. Doesn't seem right. Excuse me, sir. What are you up to? What's going on here? Again, in her life, all hell breaks loose. She gets fired. Her husband gets fired, who was just standing there. Ordinary people and famous people. The quarterback, Drew Brees, remember him? He's still in the game, right? Is he? Anyway, he retired. So maybe this helped him leave when he made a totally fine statement about respecting our flag. This possibly brought on the end of his career.
I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America or our country. Is everything right with our country right now? No, it's not. We still have a long way to go. But I think what you do by standing there and showing respect to the flag with your hand over your heart is it shows unity. It shows that we are all in this together. We can all do better, and that we are all part of the solution.
Beautiful statement, right? What could be wrong with that? Nothing. That could be the start of his campaign announcement. I don't know. This was the worst thing, though, that was ever said, according to the woke left, and he had to apologize. Do you remember this? It was astounding. I would like to apologize to my friends, teammates, the city of New Orleans, the black community, NFL community, anyone else I hurt with my comments yesterday. I made comments that were insensitive and completely missed the mark. I am very sorry, and I ask for your forgiveness. His wife had to apologize as well. We are the problem. The world really has gone mad. This, though, famous people, ordinary people getting canceled, and our history being destroyed, this is all an effort to keep us in line, and I am afraid of fear. I am afraid for our country when people are afraid of the mob. It's easy to be afraid. Sometimes it gets on my nerves, and sometimes I wonder. Anybody could be canceled. We got to throw caution to the wind. It's tough, especially when you have kids, especially when you're depending on income from others. But we love our country, don't we? It's one thing when a mob does it, and then your community does it. When they remove Thomas Jefferson, Teddy Roosevelt, icons of American history, and our communities are supporting that. It's not just some crazy game. Our long-term, maybe even our short-term safety is at risk. Because I'll tell you who's not messing with this stuff, China. You can go to China today, Tiananmen Square, and guess who's front and center in Tiananmen Square? Mao Zedong, Chairman Mao. They still revere him there, or at least they haven't canceled him yet. He killed millions of people, probably, but he's still, he survives. Maybe they should cancel him, but if they did, that would take a lot of time and energy, and it would distract them. Know what I mean? Our history, everything about it, is being erased. Even our recent history, forget the Civil War. 9/11.
I can hear you, the rest of the world hears you, and the people who knock these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
That man did a good job on that day and then screwed everything else up. And 20 years later, he has the nerve to say that those who are not with the woke left, those who oppose Black Lives Matter, are just as bad as al-Qaeda terrorists. He said it.
And we have seen growing evidence that the dangers to our country can come not only across borders, but from violence that gathers within. There is little cultural overlap between violent extremists abroad and violent extremists at home. But in their disdain for pluralism, in their disregard for human life, in their determination to defile national symbols, they are children of the same foul spirit, and it is our continuing duty to confront them.
For a moment, I was hopeful. Wow, is he talking about Antifa? Is he talking about the left? Is he talking about Black Lives Matter? I mean, those comments would be appropriate, would be fitting, wouldn't they? We all saw what happened. But he wasn't. He was very clear. He was talking about January 6ers and those who supported President Trump. It seems to me that President Trump is hated more by the Bush family than the Bush family loves America. It's really sad. Go to his statement, please, from the summer of 2020. It is time for us to listen. Even George W. Bush was sucking up to the woke left. And all of this virtue signaling has left us in a very dangerous, unsafe position.